If you only had 30 minutes before the difficulty changed and made it harder or easier, do you think you'd stick it out to the end and beat the game? That is the question I asked myself when I picked up the titular game known as God of War 2018 edition, and honestly, it's been hectic, but in all the right ways. The concept is easy. Every 30 minutes, I spin a wheel, and that will determine the difficulty for the next 30 minutes. But it doesn't stop there. If I roll the difficulty, give me a story, which is God of War's easiest difficulty, I have to add a debuff to it because the game is otherwise too easy to enjoy. And what are the debuffs, you may be asking? Well, they may be anything that ranges from only use light attacks, or maybe invert all controls. Oh, and did I forget to mention that those that join me at twitch.tv/theundeadhope or check me out on youtube.com/zombie_lotus will be able to mess with it and add more debuffs as the time goes on. But that's enough explaining. You wanted to come here to see the video, so let's go ahead and dive right in and talk about the second stream that I did for God of War. After spinning the wheel before the stream started, we picked back up where we left off from our first video, which, if you didn't see it, you should go watch it, which was just at the edge of the mountain. Deeper in, our first try was fairly easy, as it was just a moving wheel which we used Kratos' axe to help put into place. Those runes formed the answer to the door and opened it up. We traveled a little bit further, finding yet another collectible, which was another mask, and then approached a clearing, an ominous clearing which revealed yet another troll. This one by the name of Brenna Dottie. And let me tell you, this fight wasn't too shabby. Whereas the last time we faced off Troll, we had to deal with side units while he also spread fire all around. And with the new damage that Atreus and I could deal, we carved him up good, but he traded blows with us consistently. Thankfully, I was able to take down the enemies on the sideline with one axe throw, but I burst into Spartan Rage to assist me in dealing some good damage. With roughly a quarter of his health bar left, we started to get low until Kratos performed yet another amazing combo. Finisher! Ooh, right in the skull. Oh! Impressive work, Kratos. Now with the troll out of the way, we found a new runic. This one, however, was a heavy runic. It did a cool slam attack, which I thought would be super useful for later fights. We then solved the puzzle, picking ourselves up one more Idune apple. With this third apple, our HP grew a sizable amount, which meant my auto survival just went up by that much more. I did want to proceed further, but between getting dizzy and wanting to collect things around the basin we were in, I had my work cut out for me. With not much more collecting to do, we proceeded in the direction of the animal, and there was the boar. It was grabbing some grub when we approached, and we sat down near Atreus. He pulled up his bow, let loose an arrow after taking the command from his father, but was confused why it bounced off. Kratos mentioned it might be magical, which made sense, but now we were in pursuit of the boar. And before we found it, we managed to find a small, tucked-away ruin of a desecrated and broken village. It was a little messy and void of life, unfortunately, but it did have a raven that sat amongst the rubble. We destroyed it, whoops, and then we pushed inward to find a singular Draugr. Fortunately, he fell quickly, way too quickly. And, to our fortune, we found more supplies at the camp, +1 to our pocketbooks. From there, we found the boar again after it slipped through an overturned boulder. Atreus approached it from an angle, followed all of Kratos' teachings, and nailed the arrow into the boar before it took off. From there, Kratos inspired Atreus to take off after it. Despite his enthusiasm, Atreus dropped his knife and Kratos snatched it up and tucked it away. The next part was slightly intimidating because we were rushing through the various fog, unsure of what we were supposed to find. Atreus kept calling out to Kratos, and eventually we found him after hearing the voice of a woman. In the clearing, Kratos joined them.
He doesn't. He's my friend.
Oh.
The boy was following my command.
Then help fix this. Hold here, please. Hold, I said. He's losing blood. The last of his kind in all the realm, and you shoot him. You needed food?
Target practice.
Target practice.
I'm so sorry.
Keep that pressure on. The blame is mine. I should have kept a closer eye.
Will he die?
I will not let him.
Good.
You, the arrow cut a tideway inside him. Find both ends and hold them tightly. Start with the left side. Grab it and hold.
Okay.
Now the right side. Hold it good. Now pull them together.
Pull them
Line
together.
them up.
Do I pull both thumbsticks? She's a witch of the woods. She's a witch. She has the power of a witch. You would not believe it, would you?
Witch.
I can't finish the healing here. My home is just beyond the trees there. You will carry him.
Obviously. Trey was
You
like,
must not
come on, dude.
die. Good.
All right, Mr.
You
Boar.
seem stable and calm for now.
Let's live to you and proceed.
Great.
God, Norse mythology is like some of the coolest stuff, if I'm being completely honest. And now, carrying our little friend through the walkway, we struck up a conversation with the Witch of the Woods. She was quiet, calm, and respectful in her demeanor. She was also patient, but more importantly, she did some cool shit. Like summon forth a turtle from the underground? What do you mean below it?
Look!
Oh my god! Jesus. Oh. Holy crap. I also just love this scenery. I mean, like, let's just take this in for a second. Also,
Boy.
is that another magical deer?
I promise.
Maybe I need to work on my skills. Maybe if I say abracadabra, something will pop up. Wait, you're not supposed to be in this game. You're a later video. Shoo, shoo. Alright, back to the topic at hand before we were so rudely interrupted. The Witch of the Woods invited us into her home, but told us to collect some materials, but not before telling us something fairly serious. Oh no. Want another rank done with that for today? Hell yeah. Yeah, and you, Nara?
You're a god. Not of this realm, but there's no mistaking it. He doesn't know, does he? About your true nature? Or his own?
That is none of your concern.
The gods of these realms don't take kindly to outsiders, trust me. I know.
She's interesting.
When they find
Hell yeah,
you,
she is.
and they will, they'll make things difficult.
She's a Witch of the Woods.
The boy will want answers.
That will be my problem.
Whatever you're hiding, you cannot protect him forever.
Played her as a
But
few
you're right.
times and enjoyed her.
Doesn't
Yeah,
concern me.
I need to play her, but it's hard to get her nowadays. After I
also
go to
need
stream, I'm
lamb's
probably gonna play
crest, you
some
mind?
League.
It's a white petal
Lamb's
flower
Crest.
in my
In Arena,
garden.
her punches turn
Just
into
a handful.
lasers. Oh, Jesus. With that in the back of our minds, we went out the door and collected a bit of lamb's crest, the white material that was found inside the turtle house. Once we had the lamb crest and went back, she told us to go and help Atreus. And when we walked up to him, we delivered his knife back to him. But we did inform him that he lost the dagger when he was chasing the animal. With both materials having been collected, the witch placed a healing salve on the boar, and then, afterwards, as sort of a reward, she applied a material to protect us from others who might make the journey difficult, by the witch's standards at least. Once finished, she directed us in a cavern and bid Atreus adieu. Also, in the caverns, we were given the witch's compass, which was just another word for our compass to tell us where to go, but we also found a new creature type, the nightmares. They were easy to kill, but they floated in the sky. They were not so much a threat, but more importantly, they were a nuisance. With them dispatched, we fought a few draggers and then pushed a large crate into the water below. Sploosh. We did a bit of backtracking as well, reaching a chest that revealed a wonderfully useful item, a talisman. It was our first one, and the way it worked was it provided us HP in a pinch. Pretty useful, right? We then returned to the way across the crate, found a mask, but then we were turned around when Atreus mentioned we didn't have anything for it at the moment. So, with nothing left to do, we went to the boat. And by that time, the timer had hit 30 minutes, which meant we went to go spin the wheel. Give me a challenge. Is it going to be just the same balanced experience? It was almost a challenge, but it looks like yet another 30 minutes on the clock, setting up for the same old, same old. While we were swimming out of direction, Atreus informed us of Baldur, Odin, and a few other mentions. Baldur being the one that we fought earlier in episode 1, if you can remember. We also approached a statue that told us to throw our weapons in the water, to which Kratos grabbed the Leviathan axe and threw it into the lake. When he tried to summon it back, nothing happened, besides a great rumbling. Yeah, I'd be down to do it. Is it on Steam? Is it on something else? Oh! Oh boy.
Hang on, boy!
Oh. Jesus. Too much water. Okay.
What is this?
Oh boy.
Serpent.
That is such a cool visual. And and it's huge. Oh, there's my axe. It's here imbued.
Stay calm, boy!
I am! This is great!
This is great. Oh.
It speaks?
Yeah! Mom said he's friendly!
What does it say?
I don't know!
Oh, it's
That was amazing!
amazing.
Wait,
Sure.
There's a shipwreck way over there. See that?
And once the large majestic beast was gone, the water dropped, which made it easier to traverse and check out the locations. And check out the locations was exactly what we wanted to do. We first checked out a small pillar on the side, which led us to a fight with level 6 creatures. I mean, after being one shot and adding that to the list of our deaths, we turned around and hopped back into our boat. I mean, there wasn't much we could really do there. Originally, I thought of hopping onto the main platform, but I had some curiosity brewing in me, especially when it came to the snowy ice caps that I found over on the opposite side. I mean, I unlocked silver through barrels, but I had a feeling there was much more than what met the eye. And again, I was correct. We approached the dock side and found ourselves in another cavern, but this one was unlike the cavern from prior. It contained another drop of materials, but more importantly, after delving deeper, like a hole in Minecraft, we reached an area where our wonderfully cool blacksmith Brock was. I wasn't expecting him, if I'm being honest, but when he offered a wonderful quest, I couldn't help but take it up for him. But Kratos, after getting an incentive, took on the mission. You know, he didn't really want to deal with it. That's beyond the point. Anywho, and here's the best part of this 30-minute span. The upgrade section. Now, I would do the Rocky music, but because it's copywritten, let me find the least inspiring music I can. I think I found the track actually right here. Alright, here we go. While I was sitting with Brock, I actually ended up spending all of my money throughout these transactions. I bought a set of boarhide bracers and boarhide belts, sold my mask that I collected, bought the upgraded Talon bow, bought a weighted war handle for my lion axe, and called it a day. And from there, we placed a stone in the center and entered into the cavern. After exploring a little bit of both, we encountered a beast called a Soul Eater. The fact that Atreus said no afterlife scared me, but after it left and we dropped down, some nightmares and draugrs appeared. I made quick work of them and adhered Atreus' warnings before delivering the frozen runic attack before cleaving a creature into two. Fun! With the nightmare and draugrs dispatched, we went deeper to find a revenant. And with Atreus' new bow and improved arrows, we defeated them without too much hassle. I also bisected them hardcore. Oh, and Atreus informed me we recovered a treasure map, which I can only assume when we explore that at one point, we'll be in for some good stuff. Some powerful things, without a doubt, lie here in that map. I was also slightly thrown off course due to the crows that I found. When I gained my focus, we realized that the Soul Eater had the severed hand, and one of my normal viewers, McGillicuddy, mentioned that it looked like Malphite from League of Legends. How funny. Now, in the fight that proceeds afterwards, I fought some of the tanky draugrs we saw before, as well as a new one. I missed the tankier one too many times, but eventually, after taking out the artillery on the cliffside and getting a little too close to death, I managed to survive the onslaught. And with that, we went up to the area with all the runic markings on them, entered in, and checked out the platform that lay before us, the arena upon which we take down the Soul Eater. Now, the Soul Eater battle was a little hard, not because the enemy itself was difficult, but to learn the attack pattern caused me to die, which of course adds to our death counter, there it is, and I took back into the field again and engaged the Soul Eater once more. This time was a lot easier, and hitting his chest was a lot easier this time around. Not only that, but I managed to take down his HP to half with not much effort this time. But those bombs that really allowed me to crunch out was a lot more fun than I thought it would be. But a lot of the fight was me hitting him with bombs, avoiding the draugr, and avoiding his flames. And for the final move, I kept crushing him with my foot until we grabbed his heart, so to speak. And then we ripped it right out of him, and then took down the last bit of enemies. Snatching up the ring and an extra talisman to avoid flame damage, we went through the chest and collected a new runic known as Fury of the Ice Troll. It was a light runic, and I made sure to select it as fast as I could, given what it did for my runic attack. I mean, hey, extra damage never hurt nobody, right? I thought from here it would be a simple backtrack, but I was a little off course. There's a bit of parkour, bit of collection as per usual, and engaging in fun challenges to get some new supplies. And at this point, supplies were my lifeline. They legit gave me a way to avoid being crushed in these fights, especially when I was given the give me a challenge mode that I absolutely dreaded from the last episode. And once we returned back to Brock, we informed him of this unfortunate news, to which he accepted and gave us a reward instead at the behest of Kratos. The reward was a grip of Valinder. It was a level 3 axe pommel and it had good stats and gave us a barrier in the case we needed it. It was a great addition. And of course, Brock being Brock, when we left, said this.
Dwarves and magic jewels is like flies and pig lips. Supple ones.
Ugh. I'm not as interested as I thought.
Yeah, I don't think I'm interested either.
And it gets even crazier. Once we got back on the boat, the timer was getting close to an hour. We had 20 seconds left, so I decided to pause at a structure and prepared to spin the wheel yet again.
All right, people. Are we going to get just balanced experience throughout this whole thing? I'm actually going to decrease down the difficulty on Give Me a Balanced Experience because we got in a couple in the row. So let's increase this by 2, so that way it's slightly more chance for Give Me a Story and Give Me a Challenge. Decrease chance for Give Me a Balanced Experience, just so we keep it a little bit more fair. Oh my god! Yes! I am so excited because now we get to roll a debuff. I don't know how this is gonna go. I am super excited. This is gonna be awesome. As you can see here, there's a lot of them. So let's see what happens because there's a ton of different options of what could be here. Give us a debuff. What's our debuff? Shit. Inverse controls. So we're on Give Me a Story, and we have to inverse our movement specifically.
And for the first time in forever, we got Give Me a Story, which was super exciting. And the debuff I rolled was inversing controls. Now, in hindsight, I thought this was going to be the one that wasn't that impactful, but honestly, this debuff was not fun to play with. Not only did it make combat really weird, but the attacks and the movement was really confusing. Even if the enemies didn't deal much damage, it was still painful to have to move around an alternative movement. And hell, the first fight was rough even with the enemies being level 4, but with a bit of Spartan rage and knocking an enemy off the side, the fight was done as quickly as it was started. With the enemies defeated, I claimed my prize from the little gap, but then I took off to the next area. And the next area was taken down fairly quickly. I mean, they didn't have a lot of dangerous enemies, so there's that. After defeating them, I got another collectible, and then pressed back to the ship to head to our last destination before the main spot that my witch's compass was pointing me towards. On the island, there was a brazier that Kratos mentioned, and when Atreus mentioned it, we engaged in combat. The fight was also easy like the last two, but the movement kept frustrating me to no end. And when the fight was over, we spoke to the spirit that was held in Midgard and learned about the others who were also trapped in the 9 realms. And even though Kratos was not interested in helping, he said we already started helping them, which meant another small side quest for future endeavors. And then I went to the island stupidly just to be two-shot. You know, just had to return one more time. When we returned to the main area, we heard the familiar voice of Brock in the main area with the forge lit up. Brock decided to give us a small item that helped us navigate Yggdrasil, but he did mention one thing.
And whatever you do, never, ever throw yourself over the edge of the path, lest you want death.
Yeah.
I don't see us wanting.
Yeah, neither do I.
And with that, after getting another lovely earful from Brock, we did a few upgrades. Specifically, we collected the next upgrade for the Talon Bow, which was the quiver. This would prove useful since it meant we could launch more arrows at the enemies I was targeting, which would result in the enemies being taken down that much quicker. Besides that, we pushed out into the vast unknown, looking up at the tower before being jumped, but not before the game mentioned that Atreus was gaining confidence in battle, and would look to do a physical melee attack if he decided to, which, looking in hindsight, is pretty amazing for a kid. I mean, it's not every day you watch a kid do this to beating the hell out of a Draugr. We collected a few more hack silver chests and entered into the next location, finding another lore drop. The lore drop talked more about the world serpent, and for the sake of avoiding strikes, I'm going to go ahead and blur that image on the right. You can hate me for it or love me for it later, whichever one you choose. After hearing more about Jormungandr and the intricate lore of the serpent, we went through a bit of the area and discovered one of the ciphers of Muspelheim. With that, we ventured deeper into the area, notating how annoying the controls were, but then I realized I had ventured all the way back and needed to backtrack. Cue the speed. Upon exiting the strange cavern, we arrived at the foothills, which brought us to a small encampment. This encampment, although small in stature, is where we'd meet another friendly face, one that I would grow fond of in some way, shape, or form.
No. He is of no consequence.
Hi, excuse me, but, how did you come by that, axe?
That is my concern alone.
And, while I won't dispute that, I know that blade. It was one of ours, but, we didn't make it for you.
Oh.
Step aside.
I can't. See, the woman we made it for, I am quite fond of her, and I would be somewhat displeased if it turns out that you did something to her.
It was my mother's. She left its father before she died.
Oh yeah.
Face dead?
Sorry.
I'm very, very sorry to hear that.
So am I.
She was a fierce warrior. And a good woman.
She was a good woman.
Okay. I will make improvements to the axe.
But nobody asked you to.
Well, it's true, but knowing your mother, she would have insisted I repair that act of vandalism perpetrated against her axe by my brother.
I knew
Oh.
it. You are Brock's brother. The other half of the brand's here.
The blue one is your brother.
Yes. Though my talents are vastly superior. No boast. I swear to Freya.
Do not undo his work. Improve upon it only.
Yeah, but can you put it down over there? That handle is
No.
filthy.
Well, Sindri,
Okay then.
she's gonna grab. Yeah.
I
Come
will
on.
just. Oh. Oh.
God, he looks so miserable about it. Stop being so miserable.
Oh, is that dried blood?
Yeah. And afterwards, Cinder gave us a few supplies from his shop. And even though Brock and him, being brothers and all, carried the same loot, he had something in stock that Brock didn't have yet, though. A simple resurrection stone. This stone became another lifeline for me, which was greatly appreciated seeing as I've gotten my ass handed to me on a multitude of levels, but more importantly, if I switched to the challenge mode and was on a sliver of health before I killed the enemy, and they managed to take me down, then I have some more wiggle room to help defeat them. Not only did I get the resurrection stone, I also managed to afford all the symbols, which were enchantments, which boosted my stats across the board. Man, I was relieved at that. We then engaged with some more enemies, and after defeating them, found another chest, which we had to do another puzzle. After completing said puzzle with some clarity and some confusion, I collected another blood mead, which meant I needed one more to complete the set and increase my Spartan Rage. And if I had more Spartan Rage, it meant I could wreak some more havoc, especially if I decided to upgrade the skills that I had bought in the first episode. Which, if you haven't seen, stop the video and go watch it. You'll be caught up in no time. We also collected a few chests, but one chest was locked, and there was a set of Hell's Brambles, which Atreus mentioned that we couldn't burn or break it at the moment. It was unfortunate, but we needed to clear more ground anyways. We also spotted a Revenant and took her out pretty easy. I kept forgetting that we got a lot of room for error with the story mode that we were on because the Revenant was kicking my butt, but it was doing little to no damage. Thankfully, went down as quick as it appeared, and then we pushed into the mountainside after having a few conversations with Atreus, one of which slightly concerned me.
For this last leg up the mountain that
Well, actually,
maybe I can carry her?
I told you no.
Why? She meant more to me than you anyway.
whoa.
I just meant I spent more time with her. You were off hunting a lot.
It would serve you to stop talking.
I mean, what type of person decides to potentially disagree with a behemoth of a man like Kratos? I mean, it's almost a death sentence, but Atreus does have the kid pass, which makes it a lot more reasonable that he's not 6 feet under by the axe of his late mother. Oh boy, that'd be a long story beat in the game. And on top of the mountain, we defeated a few wolves and Draugr, clearing more areas while we prepared to get closer and closer to the 30-minute timer yet again. We collected a new piece of armor through one chest, but then collected a new light runic called Charge of the White Bear. It wasn't a bad selection, but I liked the Fury of the Ice Trolls since it seemed to have more uses than the other ones we collected, and although it didn't have as much stun as the main one, I still wanted to use it since it had more damage output. From there, we lifted up a stone, but was immediately attacked by an ogre. Atreus came up and stabbed it, but it bit the shit out of Kratos' arm before Atreus stabbed the ogre in the eye. When the ogre went down by the axe strike, Atreus, our boy, looked out and watched as more Draugr came close. And then the ogre stood back up, eye bleeding, and engaged us in combat. But not before we spun the wheel one last time.
Pause there for a second. We got one more run to do. One more spin of the fates. One more chaos to unleash upon this world. Let us spin and see what we get for our final thing. If it does give me a challenge, that'll be... Oh, it's another balance. I thought it was going to give me a story, and I was like, that's good, but another debuff. But we're such about to give me a balanced experience, which means I am going to not have to deal with all that bull.
With the wheels spun on the difficulty of give me a balanced experience, thank God, we began the combat. At first, we mainly focused on the Draugr. The ogre was huge and had a large health bar, and I honestly wanted some of them out of the way first. Once I activated Spartan Rage, I took down the ogre as fast as I could because he was getting a few decent hits on me. And the best part of this fight was when I got to ride this ogre into battle.
Deal with the Yeti, which, oh yeah. Let's take him down. Run like a titan. Oh, right in the mouth. Oh God.
I think you got me.
And with a glorious finisher, we picked up another Frozen Flame. I was looking forward to it since this item could upgrade my Leviathan axe once more, but also I picked up another enchantment that would prove useful ahead. I mean, it may have only been 3 to 2 stats, but I would take it. We reached the mountain base after opening the door and noticed the sky mover covered in vines and nature, so there was no way we could ideally use it. We then pressed up ahead and found a thick layer of black smoke that stopped us from reaching the top of the mountain. And almost on cue with Atreus, the Witch of the Woods appeared and started to inform us that we needed the light of Alfheim. And from what I could remember about Alfheim from multiple medias, it was the land of the elves. And although the Witch of the Woods was helping us, Kratos was quite suspicious, which I couldn't blame him. I'd be suspicious too, given the circumstances, but the witch gave us some reassurance.
Maybe I see more of myself in you than I'm willing to admit. Maybe.
That's fair.
Maybe by helping you, I'll make up for a lifetime of mistakes. Or maybe I just like you.
Even though we shot your friend?
Even though you shot my friend, yes.
And with Atreus' line, we pressed backwards down the pathway. The witch approached the sky mover and used her magic to move it, but mentioned that she didn't see Sindri at the base of the mountain. And then of course Kratos mentioned his disdain for dwarves, to which I shook my head and continued forward. Once we reached the bottom, the witch took us through an area and drew forth her bow, launching into a crystal that created a large light pathway. And with the way forward, I took a moment and started burning some XP that we had gathered from prior fights, and realized I had a grand total of 6,843 XP. That was awesome. So many skills to gather and so many things to acquire. It was amazing. Some of the skills that I picked up, though, were Precision Throw Combo, Block Break, Countering Strike, Fury Drive, Spartan Stomp, Freezing Burst, and Frost Rush, if I remember correctly. Each of these skills would prove useful in their own ways, but only time would tell when their skills would be put to the test. And honestly, each of them have usefulness, especially things like Block Break and Countering Strike, for I wanted to knock back enemies and add to my combos. Now that we were back on the bridge, we saw our boy Jormungandr as he sat up and watched us from afar, but we didn't go through the normal gate. Went down a flight of stairs, picked up an item, ran back up the stairs, and then went down to where Atreus and where the witch had us left an axle. After putting it back in place and realigning it like your most recent auto repair person, we began pushing like our life day depended on it. This bridge began to move, and honestly, I was shocked at such a scene of pure strength. I mean, can you imagine how cool this would be to see in real life? A bridge turning like that? But then again, I shouldn't be too shocked because it's Kratos we're talking about. And to add to the scene, the witch explained that these things were thrown off, and the world is in a difficult place at the current moment. More conversation ensued, expressing that all the realms built Tyr's Temple, which is the building we're in, and it's a nice cool little tidbit. And once we reached the main area, she shot another crystal with her bow, but said that her bow ran out of the light of Alfheim. She then stripped her bow of that magical thread, gave it to Atreus' bow, and made it so that we can use the light of Alfheim if we soaked it within there. The witch also informed us that she had means that kept her held in Midgard, which I didn't understand what she meant. And then the moment of pure enlightenment, a moment that rivaled the sick burn that Atreus did in the past on Thor. The World Tree, the Great World Tree. This was the connection way for most of the planes of existence for the Norse, and it's one of the coolest things in the Norse mythology. In essence, one could travel through here, and that's exactly what we were going to do. The witch informed us that she had a Bifrost that could help us navigate through the World Tree, and she taught us well on how to use it, including gifting it to use. The temple then had a moment of beauty.
Separated only by the Bifrost light of Alfheim. This place can focus and control that light.
And is this the World Tree?
Only an
Where's
artistic
the god
representation
Heimdall?
of it.
It's a
No,
Marvel thing
the
in Thor as
Yggdrasil
well.
is much, much more than this. The Tree of Life is bound to the
Where's the
fate
god
of the
Heimdall?
world,
Heimdall, I think,
just
is in the
as we are
second
bound to
game.
it. The
If I
tree
think.
nourishes our soils. The dew from its leaves feeds our
He
valleys
is the guardian
and
of the
rivers.
Bifrost. Oh, I
The
didn't even
tree's
know that.
very existence supports all of creation along its boughs. Its life energy interwoven into the tapestry of life.
God, this is so cool.
Growth, death, and rebirth.
a
Every
black hole.
strand transcending time, transcending space. Everything comes back to the tree. So, that's how it works. But I'm guessing you were looking for a more practical answer.
Yes.
Very well.
Without too much hesitation, we moved to Alfheim and activated the bridge. The roots spread out, and then a blast of blue energy spread before the roots fully expanded and led into another area that looked similar. But when we opened up the environment of Alfheim, it was beautiful. It was amazing. It's like not even something I saw. And then, of course, the witch began to fizzle.
No. Damn it, not yet.
Oh. Where's Legolas from Lord of the Rings?
To restore the Bifrost magic, you must step into the light.
Jeez Louise. Oh, she wasn't kidding.
She's not dead. Is she?
Not likely.
With the witch gone and us stuck in Alfheim, we encountered another piece of lore, but also seen where the light elves were taken down and the dark elves were to engage with me. These enemies were a lot more dangerous, specifically because their patterns were more aerial in essence, and more annoying than the ground. Once we took them down, we cut a few tendons and went to a chest that Atreus stabbed and granted us another cipher piece. We also found Sindri chilling in the area, avoiding how he came to here. To which he told us how we really got to this area. Magic. Straight magic. But that was beyond the point. We had a mission to accomplish, and an axe to upgrade. The Leviathan axe got yet another upgrade, even though it felt like a long time since we got the upgrade, and man, was this weapon going to pack a punch. And now at level 3, I had more skills too. I also noticed Sindri had more equipment too, but I didn't have the funds or the material to get the armor, so I went to the boat and began pushing it towards the water. Atreus also mentioned that he heard something, but Kratos didn't. It was strange. We also managed to find a Yggdrasil's Dew of Cooldown, which permanently increased our cooldown by 2. More skills! Yes! We continued to explore the area, but just as we sailed in a direction, Atreus began conversation before dropping to his knees.
What is it, boy?
Whoa.
Voices. You don't hear that?
I hear nothing.
It's going away now. It was screaming. Lots of voices. Angry.
I wonder why you can hear them.
You really didn't hear that?
No.
It felt evil.
Shit.
And, after that brief moment of panic and what can only be taken as pain, we spotted a few light elves that took off and left us to our devices. It was pretty typical given their war, at least that's what I could only assume. Kratos told Atreus that there were no concern in them, and also pressed onwards. We eventually found ourselves to the Lake of Light, where we parked our boat against the area and walked towards the pathway. And when we approached it, the Dark Elves wrapped a part of the tree to prevent reinforcements, which is very unfortunate. It also meant that we had yet another fight on our hands with the Dark Elves. These ones actually weren't too hard to fight, but the runics were what proved useful in quick succession. And one of the elves flew off the ledge and didn't reappear, so bonus. To add to it, Atreus was engaging in more physical combat, so the conflict ended as quickly as it stopped. With all the Dark Elves left or sent over the cliff or the chasm side, I decided to call it there for the stream and looked forward to when I would stream next on August 2nd. And just like that, we are done with yet another God of War video. And because I've received this debuff, the one that inverted all my controls, I think this episode definitely takes the cake for my favorite one to produce, as well as play live. So, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate all the support these videos get, because it means that I'm making some progress and I'm getting closer to completing God of War. Oh, and don't let me forget to tell you, if you guys want to watch me live, go check out twitch.tv/theundeadhope, or you can check out over here where it's youtube.com/zombie_lotus. Now, normally I do stream Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, Saturdays being the God of War day, but I also vary at my stream, so keep an eye on twitch.tv, that's where I update all my schedules, and then also join my Discord. The link will actually be down in the description, so I would love to see you there and love to see you become a part of the community. Oh, as an additional, you may have noticed a little image pop up during part of the video. If you've noticed that, that might be a new video that might come out here soon. But it's still in the working stage effectively, so give it some time and I'll get it out soon enough for you guys. Alright folks, with that being said, thank you all for watching. Make sure you leave a like, a comment, subscribe, or hit follow on Twitch. I'd love to have you guys there, and I'd love to be able to see you guys join a part of the stream, either on Twitch or YouTube. But more important than that, make sure you stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe out there. And until next time, we'll catch you guys later.